Hey everybody, how you doing? Surprise, I'm live. I just needed to do a live stream real quick to get some things squared away here and calm everybody's nerves down. I made a tweet, I don't know, yesterday, day before, where I just said I'm sick of this whole thing, tired of dealing with this. I should have let the Avondale police just go ahead and shoot me when they had the chance when I was being arrested. Uh, Actually, I don't think I said on my tweet when I was arrested, but uh, and then I said, well, I've got 3 days before I go to court, so I still have a chance. All I was saying was, I have 3 days for them to try to set me up in another one of these scenarios, like when I was set up on January 4th by Russell Roberts, the former police officer, and the group of white cars that were stalking and harassing me. And all I was talking about was, they have plenty of time to go ahead and pull another one of these skits on me between now and then to go ahead and carry that out. I am not going to hurt myself. I am not going to hurt anyone else unless they break into my house and I need to protect myself, period. Yes, I'm pissed off that I've tried to go through the due process, the justice process, and demand that my rights not be violated. Demand that the exculpatory evidence be provided to me from 11 police officers that showed up that are in the police discovery with conflicting reports. And I've been talking to these people for, well, not talking to them, I have over 300 videos on YouTube. I think I'm coming close to 350, going over this, talking to former CIA, talking to former NSA. I have a website with all of this information explaining exactly what's going on in this Zert Singh style psyop that I go through. Now, these people called today and tried to pretend like they were concerned for my safety. One, I know you guys watching this. One, if you were concerned for my safety, somebody would have taken a complaint from me when I've tried to give complaints multiple times. I tried to give a complaint to this lady in the QT when I was in the convenience store 3 weeks before I was arrested, actually, and that was the response. Instead of coming to me and asking me if I needed help. Now, of course, my face starts itching right when I do this. Imagine that. Two officers showed up here for something. I cannot even remember what they showed up for. And I was having a conversation with them, and I was actually on the phone with a guy that goes by Dr. X, who's a former Intel guy, counterintelligence guy. I don't know what exactly his deal was. I've kind of broken communication with him. He might even have worked for that. Who knows? But anyway, I was on the phone with that guy. And I was talking to these two officers out in front of my house. And they said, well, can you tell us exactly what's going on? And I was like, nah, I'm not prepared to give you a statement right now. I need to get my information together, get my files together, because this is very complex and it's very long and drawn out. And there's no way I can sit here and just explain this to you linearly without sounding like a complete delusional, schizophrenic, crazy guy. You can't just give a statement without your documents, without your proof, without your records and stuff like that. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'd be happy to sit down with you guys at your station. I'll come to your station and I'll bring my stuff with me and I'll sit down and I will explain to you exactly what's going on with me. And they were like, okay. And I said, so when you guys are ready for me to do that, anytime you're ready, call me and I will come over there with my statement. Never got a call. So now on Monday, I have court on Friday, I get a call from an officer saying he wants to help me, but the way he wants to help me is he wants to pick me up and take me to some kind of mental facility to go over what I'm dealing with, and they want to help me through this process. Really, really, really. To process all the stuff that happened to me when I was a kid, to, to get rid of some of that trauma and stuff like that. And I've learned that that's that's a trap. That is completely a trap. So you guys think I'm a complete idiot and that I'm just going to go ahead and go. When I go, you take custody of my daughter and you put her into some kind of CPS, which has the worst record of anyone here in Arizona of children being abused. So that's not going to happen. So I just need to make it clear. I'm not going to hurt myself or anyone else. I am outraged. I am pissed off. I am furious that our system works like this, and that's why I've been putting so much time and effort into documenting this, just like the Air Force taught me to do. Pay attention to detail and be thorough in what I do. And I kind of done this some my own way. I've had to laugh and joke and, keep my spirits up and, get this trauma out in a different way by playing music, exercising, just doing different things to doing this journalism. Just talking to somebody. When you go to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist, you lay on the couch and they say, tell me about your life. And then you start talking about stuff and then you say something and they pick up on something that might be bothering you and then they say, well, tell me how you feel about that. So since I know how that process works, I talk to you people. Even if I don't think that this is going out to, I don't want to say real people because real people are out there listening, but it could be censored to the point where basically only government entities can see this, the people that can just wait for me to say the wrong thing to go ahead and trap me and put me in whatever kind of cage they would like to, and then people that would actually help won't be able to see the information. I wouldn't be the only person that would be censored on YouTube. So many people have had their channels deleted, so many people have been censored, so many people have been shadow banned or ghosted basically, where you think you're talking to, the public out there, but you're not. You're just, like I've said before, it's like at the fire department, we put a clamp on the hose, right? To keep that water flow from going. Well, they just put a clamp on part of the hose, basically, as far as the internet goes. So your information goes out to who they want it to, not to the general public, to where, somebody out there might actually hear your complaints or your cry for help and do something about it. So, my intention was not to get people to think that I'm going to kill myself or die by suicide by cop. But if they did try to set me up in one of these bullshit setups, like what happened on January 4th, this time I would not just put my hands up as far as I can in the air to make sure, beyond the shadow of doubt, they know that I don't have anything in my hand. Get any further up like an idiot, just like I do now. Doing that away and keep me from my due process. That's all I'm saying. Period. I'm not a threat to myself, not a threat to anyone else. I'm selling all of the things that I do not need to survive. I have a bunch of stuff here in my house. Actually, I'm having an estate sale tomorrow, starting at 7 a.m. from 7 to 4. And these are antiques and collectibles that, I don't need to survive. They're just nice things that I've collected over the years throughout the United States, traveling all over. Talked about this mural before when I owned studios at 420 Main in Norman, Oklahoma. This mural was painted. Well, how tall was the building? 30, 40 feet tall? I can't remember. Anyway, this is, Google it. This is one of three right here. One of three. Signed by Rick Sennett, the artist. Okay. I paid $500 for this, so that has appreciated. That's worth some money. I'm going to go ahead and sell that. This right here is an original 1940s, 1950s, so it would be mid-century modern airbrush painting, basically. I'm going to say this was appraised on the Antiques Roadshow for $500. The Arizona Antiques Roadshow. These right here are architect or art drawers, which I've kept art over the years. These are ridiculously hard to find. Anyone that collects art or has blueprints or schematics, these are highly sought after. These are from the 40s or 50s also. It's got the key. Could sell these probably on eBay for, I don't know, $1,500 to $2,000. I'm gonna try to sell those in the estate sale. Here you have an Art Deco bed frame, twin bed. It's from the 30s, 30s or 40s, right around there. I don't know, I'd say 20s through 40s actually. It's when Art Deco was going on, right after the Art Nouveau period. This is a mid-century modern industrial cabinet. Actually, this is full of eyeglasses that people can purchase and resell on eBay. People take those to lens crafters or whatever glass place to put their own prescription in and have their own vintage pair of glasses. These are all 50s, 60s, so it'd be mid-century modern swung vases. These are all one of a kind. You see how the top is here. It would swing these around in a circle, and that would create this design up here, like this, so they're unique. There's a bunch of art glass back here. Down here you have an Art Deco end table or end drawer, I guess, nightstand drawer. You put next to your bed, that's 20s through 40s. This is a 1963 Chicago Coins kicker, working pinball machine. It's set up to play for a dime. I'm sorry, it was, when it was being used, it was a dime to play it. I have it set up for free play. You just push that button when it's plugged in and it works fine. This is an Art Deco table, 20s through 40s. Vintage record player. Actually, no, I'm sorry, this isn't vintage. It looks like vintage. It's got a CD player in it. This is a mid-century modern lamp. This is a custom Danish mid-century modern end cap piece to be used in a bedroom or like an office or something like that. That's from the 50s. It says it's Danish on the back. This is an art drawer right here, mid-century modern industrial, full of art. Original art posters. These are really tough to find. Makes a perfect coffee table, and people that collect art would love to have that. I've got all kinds of stuff here. I'll keep going. This is an Art Deco jade lamp with a Dale Tiffany art glass lampshade. These are all antique and vintage cameras. Those are for sale. Got some vintage chairs here, vintage Costco stool, not the store Costco, C-O-S-C-O. They made that kind of stuff. This right here is a rocking chair from the 1800s that has handmade, hand-hammered, forged nails in the bottom of it. It could be from early 1800s to late 1800s. We couldn't figure that out. Got my old flak jackets from work. It's got my tag on there. It says Air National Guard, Fresno. Barden, that's what I wore the day after 9/11 happened. And my little helmet. You can buy that stuff on eBay, so it's no big deal. This is a Art Deco doctor's office or dentist office cabinet with multiple drawers. Go all the way down. Art Deco clock right here. This is a Mucha print poster, Alphonse Mucha. That is Art Nouveau. You can look up Mucha if you'd like. See, this has a little hidden compartment here. Not hidden compartment, but it's just got a cool little function right there. That's really neat. That's for sale. Metal hat rack, some of my old hats. This is Michael Kors. This thing, I don't know if it's a skirt or like what the hell it is, but I found it at Goodwill, and I know Michael Kors is not cheap. And let's see, here we'll go ahead and go in here. Oh, here we go. Oh, I got my computers and stuff out here. This right here is a travel case that belonged to the Army and Air Force Motion Picture Service back when Warner Brothers got involved with these guys, and they hired Jack Warner in the Air Force and made him a lieutenant colonel immediately when they hired him. No basic training, no school, no nothing. Jack Warner. Go ahead and look that up. The Air Force, before it was the Air Force, was the Army Air Corps. Oh, here we go. This is an Art Deco waterfall buffet. So that'd be from the 20s through the 40s. Here's the other art glass I was talking about. This is all custom art glass. This is uranium glass here. This was actually made in factories, for a while. I won't even say what years, but because I'd probably be wrong. I think like the 20s through the 50s. I think more around the 20s. Yeah, these are more like Art Deco styles right here, like this swan fish. But if you have a black light, say you have dinner and you put all this stuff out and you put a black light in your lamp instead of a regular light, all of this stuff glows in the dark. Now it's safe to eat on, but the people that were making this in the factories were dying of cancer because, well, it was being made with uranium. Some more art glass. This is a Danish mid-century modern low chair that is almost impossible to find. It's not in the greatest shape, but this refurbished would be worth about $1,200. So that couple screws and somebody that's good with woodworking would be able to sell that or use it, put it in their Los Angeles home. You know, it's worth a couple $1,000,000. If you go to some of those homes, which I've been to, you'll find furniture like this. This is, I was thinking this was mid-century modern, but it's more mid-century modern style, this display cabinet. I believe this is from like the 60s or 70s. Actually, I was given this by my ex-wife on my birthday, and that's for sale. Oh, I've still got some slides in there too. I gotta get those out of there. We've got a mid-century modern Danish, I think this is Danish lamp right here. It's mid-century modern lamp as well. This couch, this giant boat that I picked up at an estate sale in Paradise Valley in one of the nicest houses I've ever seen in my life. Well, I won't say how much I paid for it, but I picked that up right when I moved here. And that's for sale. And then we've got this mid-century modern drop leaf table, which I'm going to clean off before the estate sale. And then a bunch of assorted chairs around here. Mid-century modern. This chair is Art Deco from the 20s. And this chair right here is mid-century modern. Picked this up in Norman, Oklahoma at the college auction, actually. That is an awesome chair. Somebody would love that in their big, beautiful home. And let's see, what else do we have here? This is a shaving mirror from the 20s or 30s. You can see the type of metal that they have here for the shaving cup. This is to hold your razors. Big, thick piece of glass here to hold your other stuff on. Made out of wood. Beveled mirror. Beveled oval mirror right here. That's for sale. So a lot of this stuff that I have in here for sale is really tough to find. It's taken me 15 years to find all this stuff. And these are the items that I've really liked and enjoyed over the years. And I better plug this camera in because it's about to die here. But I don't need this stuff to survive. It's kind of been my, damn, where's my charger? Oh well, I guess that's not too big of a deal. I'm gonna end this video here real quick. So these are things that I'm going to sell because I want to leave this area, and my finances have been completely destroyed pretty much. My business is sabotaged. People harass me in my business, constantly asking for returns for things. People have gotten in this house, stolen items. The item will sell. It's nowhere to be found. You know, on and on and on. I've done hundreds of videos about this. And so that's what I'm doing. I have a truck and a 4Runner. I don't need two vehicles. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep my truck, and I'm gonna sell my 4Runner. So what I did this morning, I got up at like 5:30, took my truck to the car wash, went around town, was getting stopped and harassed by a bunch of people. Just happened to run into Avondale PD while I was in QT, and it looked like a detective. He had his firearm with him, and these guys are calling me concerned that I'm going to, you know, start something with a cop, try to get them to shoot me or, you know, whatever. I am not trying to instigate anything. I'm just saying that these people have the rest of the week to go ahead and pull off whatever they want to pull off. If they feel like doing that, they've done it once. Why wouldn't they do it right before I go to court? Usually when people are going to a big trial or going to a big court date, something bad happens to them. Sometimes on the courthouse steps, sometimes they just die, you know, in their home right before they're supposed to go to this their trial, you know, and that's not happening. I'm going to my trial. I'm going to my court date. If they convict me, there's in the plea deal that's signed, there is no jail time. I would become a felon, and then I would have to be on probation. And that's it. That's it. So there would be no reason for me to do something nuts like that right before this. But since I said what I said on Twitter, which they obviously monitor my Twitter and my social media, you know. Thanks for confirming that. Appreciate that. Which I gave the probation officer my card, I believe, and said, here's my card, here's my website. You can see all my videos, all my social medias on there. So it's not like they just went to it behind my back. I offered it to them because I want them to hear this information. But the really shitty thing is that after all of this information that I've tried to give them, today is the day that they contact me. Today is the day that they contact me. Because it's getting closer to court, and they think, oh man, here's a perfect opportunity for us to lock this guy up in a mental facility and take his daughter into CPS. He can't make it to his court date, and then we're all good to go. We don't have to worry about Mr. Barden suing us for like $21 million, which I'm not going to do. I don't want to do that. I just want to be left alone. Period. That's it. Sorry, I'm grabbing a charger here. So if this camera dies, my bad. I'll plug it back in. Here's some more art. This is hand carved. I believe this is from Haiti. Very heavy piece right here. Took somebody a long time and a lot of hard work to make that. Down here, that's a one of a kind, like fabric painting, desert painting. And then in this room, this stuff is for sale. This is a 1953 Schwinn Hornet. This is all original, except for this light. This is custom. The light has a wire that goes back here. And there's a little fitting with a gear that when the tire rotates, it powers this light up here. But this is my favorite bike. I don't need it to survive. Again, it's been something that I've been holding on to for a long time to, you know, for a rainy day, basically. It is definitely raining. This right here is another Art Deco waterfall dresser from the 20s to the 40s. Got this couch over here. This is a pull-out, kind of modern style couch with love seat type thing over there. Got this glass table. Funky. I don't even know what to call that, really. I don't even know what to call that. Just funky. And then we've got some cabinets over here. This Native American style lamp with these guys swimming. Right here, that's for sale. And then this desk, this orange custom desk with the custom chair that goes, that's for sale. So this is all stuff that I've just collected. Oh yeah, here's another Army and Air Forces motion picture service, case and contents, property of, and this is serial number 316 right here. See, it's padded in here. And this is what the guys would actually carry, their camera equipment, film reels, stuff like that. When they traveled, they'd take 100 of those, put them on a B-52 or whatever the hell plane they were flying back then, and get to their destination and create whatever propaganda we were working on. I say we, I didn't work for the Army and Air Force's motion picture, but that's when a lot of propaganda was being made. Again, when Jack Warner was hired by the Air Force, Army and Air Force's motion picture service, and became a lieutenant colonel without going to officer training school. So anyway, those are my plans, folks. I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to show up to court as long as my progress isn't impeded by anyone. And I'm just doing this in case they happen to drop the charges. And I'm going to go ahead and leave because I don't want to be in Avondale anymore. Because the police who say they want to help me and want to help me get some help for the trauma that I've gone through, which I've had to learn how to deal with the trauma on my own, which they have created a lot of the trauma. They are not here to help me. They wanted to get me to go into a mental facility and take my daughter. So, again, I recorded that call. And by the way, this ankle monitor is supposed to last for 12 hours. The battery on it is supposed to last for 12 hours. I put a freshly charged battery right before I left the house today. Tried to take a nap at about 3:30 because I've been working hard all day. Take a little nap so I can get up and finish all the pricing, because I have to price all of this stuff individually. If any of you have ever set up an estate sale before, it takes a lot of hard work and effort, a little bit of research. If you forgot exactly how much stuff is worth, or items go up and down in value, you have to be current on that. And so I've been working on that, trying to get a little nap. The second I start falling asleep, this ankle monitor goes off. I'm like, that's weird. That's so weird. The ankle monitor is going off the second I'm falling asleep. Right as I'm getting into a deep sleep. Beep! It's battery's dead. Go up to put a new battery in it, come down, start going to sleep again. Half an hour, it says the battery's dead again. So it almost feels like somebody's manipulating that battery to deprive me of sleep so I won't be able to function properly. But the thing is, being in the military for 15 years, I had more than my share of sleep deprivation, and learning how to function with limited hours of sleep, even if you feel like you are dreaming while you're awake, which I do a lot sometimes, but I can manage. I've done this. I have these dark circles under my eyes from it, but I can function, and I will continue functioning. The only person that will harm me is not me. I'm just going to say that. A guy recently died in Norman, Oklahoma, where I lived. Okay, the senator in Arkansas who was investigating this exact same thing that I'm investigating, or had been investigating, just got Arkansided. And then an engineer who just happened to work for Lockheed Martin, who my dad worked for, that guy and his wife were both murdered while they were on vacation. So there's a lot of connections to what I have going on in my life, people that are being suicided. And that's not all. There's all kinds of different people. Told you guys before. I told my dad all I ever wanted you to do was teach me something. Yelled at him on his answering machine. That was the last thing I ever said to him. The next thing I heard, he was dead, gunshot to his head. I don't know if he did it himself or if somebody helped him with that. His wife at the time, when I went to go visit him, told him, if you have any company over here, I'm going to shoot you in the head. So I had to meet my dad at Famous Dave's to go have dinner with him. And that was a few months before he was shot in the head. It goes on and on, on and on. My son's mom just happened to die on my birthday. I was living in Oklahoma. She was living in California. The first call I got of the day was from my ex-sister-in-law, who hated me because I just told her how it was. I was real about things, and some people don't like that. So the first call I got of the day was from her, and she said she wanted to make sure she let me know that Jody passed away, not last night, but early in the morning on my birthday. She wanted to let me know that she died on my birthday, which on important days in my life, crazy stuff seems to happen. And then every time I have that important day, like my birthday, you're supposed to have a good day, I have those memories instead. So this trauma has built up intentionally over time, and I haven't given in, but I have learned to accept that I just live a crazy ass life, and there's some really powerful, really rich people behind a lot of this stuff, and they're really good at trying to make me look like the psycho. But I've been better at explaining exactly what's going on with my website, talking to former intel agents, and getting this information out. So no, I don't need to go to a psychological evaluator. I'm not going to hurt myself or anyone else. I'm going to keep repeating that. I'm going to go to this court date, and I'm going to go to trial, and I'm going to present my evidence, and I'm going to file a motion to compel, if my attorney won't do it, to demand the exculpatory evidence that's being kept from me. And again, if you guys really wanted to help me, you would have been helping me over the last 2 years, not calling me on Monday, the day before I go to court, to try to get me out of the house, so I can't conduct my business and have my estate sale over the next 3 days and gain enough money to continue living and to continue fighting. So, but it was interesting that you guys reacted. The one thing that you could just grab a hold of and try to kidnap me, you went ahead and went for that and tried to act like you were helping me. So you just proved how you guys operate. And just to let you people know out there, an officer can call you and sound so sincere that they want to help you. I even started feeling like, oh my God, this guy's awesome, man. He wants me to get some help. He said, are you willing to go to see somebody? I said, yeah, absolutely. That's my goal. After I get through all this nonsense with you guys, I do plan on seeking professional help. If I find somebody I can just go talk to, like a psychologist, I can sit down on their couch and I can tell them, all right, this happened when I was a kid, this happened when I was a kid, blah, blah, blah. This happened when I was an adult. These are all the traumatic events that I've went through, and I can just keep talking that out. But basically, it would be the exact same thing as what I'm doing right now and what I've been doing over and over on my YouTube videos. So that's been my alternative way of dealing with the traumatic events that have built up over time. And just like I told this officer on the phone, I said, I understand trauma is like radiation. It builds up over time. And if you don't find a way to get rid of that radiation, actually you can't get rid of the radiation, I'm pretty sure. But trauma you can. If you talk about it and you find outlets, music, friends, just talking to, I mean, you could talk to yourself in the mirror. You can write a story. I had a friend named Hawkeye, actually. He was a forward observer in Vietnam. He jumped out of helicopters, got blown out of a helicopter. He got caught on fire. He was fighting, actually, the Hmongs. Or not, I'm sorry, not the Hmongs. He was fighting with the Hmongs. The Hmongs were the Vietnamese hill people in Vietnam that helped us in the United States fight in the Vietnam War. And for them helping us, they sent half of them to Fresno, California, and they sent the other half to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Gave them a vehicle, gave them like a stipend, monthly payment to kind of get them going, help their culture get going. They're awesome people. I have so many people that I grew up with that were Hmong that I really respect. Yeah, Hawkeye. I actually, yeah, I didn't finish that story. He used to say, hey, did you guys know I'm part Hmong? And we didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And I read his story. He gave me his life story. I've got it on disc around here. I've looked for it. I don't know if it got deleted or not. But he was, I'm pretty sure he had some special clearances now that I've read through his story. And but when he got, I can't remember if it was when he got blown out of the helicopter or in another incident, but one of the guys he was fighting with, not fighting with, but on his side, it actually melted to his face in this fire, and the guy's skin was stuck to his face. So when Hawkeye received his burn treatment, he had that other guy's skin in his face, and it kind of fused in, and he literally had like a dark spot on his face. So that's what he was talking about when he said, I'm part Hmong. And that's how he got rid of not got rid of his trauma, but how he dealt with and coped with his traumas. He wrote it out. And I've done that. I've written out a lot of what has happened to me. You know, I'm on like chapter 2, basically, of a book, which I'm pretty sure these folks wouldn't want me to ever finish this book, but I'm still writing it, whether it's just for my own traumatic experience, diffuse, I don't even know what to say, how to say it, to counsel myself, basically. So I write, I play music, I talk to you people, I sing, I do all kinds of things. When I get worked up and frustrated, Sometimes I'm out in public and I've got the ambulance, driving by me 20 times, the rescue truck driving by me 20 times, police officers, they're all hitting code 3, you know, like like we're in World War III or something, driving by me in a half an hour drive. Everybody just happens to be going code 3. Um, all these people are doing hand signals. I've got the color coded cars, which I've documented perfectly. My next door neighbors drive a red and white car. Got a red and white car on this side, red and white car right over here. The neighbors two doors down have a red and white car. From every angle, I can see a red and white car. And now I've noticed pockets of this similar thing happening in neighborhoods. You can drive through a neighborhood and you won't see 5 or 6 neighbors all in a row with these red and white vehicles in each driveway. I've driven through some other neighborhoods and I've noticed, there must be another targeted individual in this neighborhood because they've got the exact same thing going on right here. Little pocket of color coded vehicles. One of those neighborhoods just happens to be my ex wife. I tried to go see her, left her a note, said, please call me Jillian. I'd like to talk to you about some things. And I noticed when I went to her house, which somebody sent me a message and let me know where she lived. I looked it up, but somebody sent me a covert message saying, here's how you find this. So I looked it up. What do you know? It's her brother and sister-in-law's house. And I drive by there, which the last place in the world I'd really want to go to is my brother-in-law's house. But to go try to get some closure for my ex-wife, I did it, went by there with my daughter to make sure, I'm not going to show up and do anything crazy. Knocked on the door nicely, and Lois answered the door and was like, holy shit, how did you find us? But I know that my ex-wife had either is living there or lived there because I saw our old Art Deco clamshell display cabinet, which she would keep her Victorian satin glass collection in. It's like a $2,000 to $3,000 piece. Um, it was hers. We bought it at an auction together, but I saw that in the garage, and I knew, yep, Jill had either lived here, or she was storing that here, or they would know maybe where she was, so I could contact her. But when I went to her house, it was the same fucking thing as around my house. And as you go down the street, it kind of faded out, and all the cars were pretty much normal. You go over the next street over, it looks like a normal neighborhood, but right around her house, it looks just like around this house. And that is not a coincidence or an anomaly or anything. It's proof of repetition. Repetition. Statistics. If you were to find a statistician and say, what are the odds of the 5 neighbors right around one house all owning a white car and a red car and parking those in the driveway, it would be astronomical. The odds of that happening. So, anyway, Avondale Police Department, thanks for the call today. Thanks for the help. I appreciate that. But you're a little late. I would have loved to work with you guys and to give you whatever information, but you're afraid that I'm going to sue your department for doing this, for setting me up. I shouldn't say your department, but it's hard to believe that a former police officer just happened to be the one that was stalking and harassing me that morning. Former Marine Corps, former police officer. Why is he not a police officer anymore, by the way? People might ask the same thing about me. Why aren't you a firefighter anymore? I've explained that multiple times. And again, I became a journalist after that. Got out with a general discharge under honorable conditions. So, which is not an honorable discharge, but it's not a dishonorable discharge. It's kind of like in the middle, like, we wanted you to leave, but you weren't a bad enough person to go ahead and give you a dishonorable discharge, so we kind of met you in the middle and sent you on your way, even though your dad was just shot in the head, months before that. We wanted to kind of bury the knife a little bit more to see if we can get you to go crazy or to test you for something. I don't know what the deal is. But I'm fine. I'm gonna have my estate sale. Starts 7 o'clock tomorrow, 7 to 4. Like I said, I even invited this officer to the estate sale. I said, you're welcome to come by, man, but I'm busy right now. I'm trying to get this stuff tagged. I'm trying to get everything ready. I was trying to take a nap, keep getting woken up, so I'm pretty irritated that this battery's supposed to last 12 hours. I put one on and it lasts half an hour. Right when I'm falling asleep, it goes off. And then I get a call right after that. Because I mean, honestly, I did get up and I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? How does this thing go off right when I'm going to sleep? Imagine every time you tried to go to sleep, you got woken up. Wouldn't you get a little irritated? You know, it kind of reminds me of actually, my kids slept fine through the night, but you know, having a baby, a colicky baby, and the baby just wakes up every half hour, and you got to get up. Even though you love that kid, you're gonna be, you're gonna look like this eventually after a year of that. You know, it's gonna test your strength and test your wits. So right after I get up from my nap, I get a call from this officer offering help. So no, thank you. I don't need any help. I've just explained how I'm dealing with this on my own. And again, if you guys really genuinely wanted to help me, you wouldn't offer to come pick me up and take me to a place where they're going to put a white jacket on me if I start explaining the things that are going on with me. Because as I explained to this police officer, the Minneapolis multiphasic inventory is the test that this program is designed around, to where if you explain anything that's going on, boom, on that test, they can say, oh, delusional, schizophrenic, but they won't investigate any further um, to show that there's different situations. Everything is situational in life. Nothing is ever just black or white. Uh, well, sometimes, but there's a lot of gray areas in life. And when somebody is going for the win, they're not going to be objective or think about things situationally. They're going to use whatever information they can to just hammer you down for the win, to either shut you up or to keep you from suing them. Period. And that's where we are today. Compartmentalized groups, kind of tribal, like um, our origins. You know, people were in tribes. Animals are in tribes. A pack of antelope running through the oh, somebody from Australia right there. So a pack of what kind of stuff do you guys have in Australia? A pack of whatever, and they're running from a cheetah, right? They want to stay in that pack for protection. That's why they go into a big pack. That's the exact same thing that humans are doing, and they're not thinking about, they're not thinking objectively and thinking rationally about the positive, or they're not thinking about the right thing. They're thinking about, is my pack stronger than this pack? Can we get ahead and win? If we can get ahead and win, then we have more dollars. If we have more dollars, we have more power and control. And that's it. It's not the rule of law, like following the rule of law. It's ruling by law. And that means if you stand up and if you get out of line, if you explain how 9/11 works, if you explain that there's spraying and there's nanotechnology that we're breathing in, and that these cell phone towers aren't all cell phone towers, they transmit frequencies to give people V2K or synthetic telepathy or record remote neural monitoring. They could do other things too. I mean, if you have enough heavy metals in your body, the aluminum and is it beryllium? No, that's what fighter jets brakes are made out of, aluminum and beryllium. No, beryllium and magnesium. Good God, it's been a while. But yeah, they're spraying aluminum and something else, and if we breathe that in, and there's enough of that going into our body, yes, 9/11 was an inside job. Actually, UK, Israeli Mossad, and some of our United States government. You got me off track there. Anyway, the and possible nanotech that goes into your body. If they heat up those, if we get the 5G going, and they send a strong enough signal out, barium, thank you. If they send a strong enough signal out, you're gonna melt. There was a Twilight Zone episode, I think. Was it a Twilight Zone episode or was it a movie? where everybody just turned to dust. And there was like one guy left on the planet, and he's walking around. He's like, "Why is everybody an orange pile of dust?" Well, that's basically what can happen to the people that haven't been chosen to continue going on. If you have enough of that in your body, they fire up that signal enough, you're just gonna melt. Kind of like popcorn. You keep saying, "Grab your popcorn, enjoy the show." Uh, that's a possibility, not a crazy delusion. The science works out perfect. There's all kinds of stuff. So if you talk about that kind of stuff and you're right about it and you are persistent, you know, they're going to go after you because you're hitting the bottom line, the jobs, uh, industry, corporations, things like that. That's exactly what's going on. Oh, the movie's called Lucy. Okay. I am sorry, I haven't been looking at any of these comments just now over the last minute or so because I don't know why, but yeah, I just wanted to stay focused on what I was talking about, which is really tough because I'm really tired, sleep deprived, and they call you tinfoil head. They called me that? Okay, well, they probably call a lot of people that, and that's fine because you know, it's like getting called. What haven't I been called? I've been called faggot. I've been called nigger. I've been called all kinds of stuff on video. And people will say, "Well, you can't use that word." I'm not. I'm repeating what was said to me. I never use that word. I don't even. All the kids call each other, "Hey, what's up, man?" I don't even feel comfortable around that. My daughter's friend is a black kid. Love him. He's an awesome kid. Had him over here working for me before, or working with us, and we're listening to some. I'm like, "Hey, man, you ever heard of Outcast? You ever heard of this band?" And he's like, "Nah." And I forget some of this stuff is 20 years old, and I turn it on, and they're dropping n bombs over and over, and I'm like, "Dude, I gotta be honest with you, man. I feel kind of uncomfortable with them just saying that. I'm like working by you." And he's like, "Ah, don't even sweat it, man. Don't even worry about it." And so I don't feel comfortable using that word, but I have to repeat what I've been called, and it's because this is menthol, mint jewel. I like hip hop. Um, I'd date a black girl in a minute. Actually, there was a girl I used to ride on the bus with home. Would stop by my house in high school after the bus stop. Uh, I have no issue with anyone's ethnicity. And also I wanted to say this, um, Sheila. I apologize for saying you were overweight. I forgot to finish what I was talking about. What I was saying is, anytime I meet a new friend or somebody that I like genuinely, they will bait me with people that are similar to whoever it is that I like. Like when I made friends with the black people over here at the barbecue place, think they're awesome. Right after that, I was being race baited with all kinds of gang stalkers that just happen to be black. They're like, it's like they type it into their system and they're like, "Send all black people," and that way we can get them to drop an N bomb or something like that, get them on video and make them look racist. Uh, um, Sheila showed up after I requested that the other guy doesn't show up to my house anymore. He was using some direct conversation on me, stuff like that. And I genuinely like the lady. She's been friendly to me. She listens. She doesn't show up to my house at 9 o'clock at night. And I said something about how she was African American, or said she was black. I can't remember. And I said she was overweight, um, which that's got to be tough to hear somebody say that about you. And I'm sorry if that offended you, but that was not my goal. What I was just trying to say was that as soon as I met you and I said, "Yeah, I like that lady," a bunch of overweight people, now they're going to say I'm fat shaming people, but were the gang stalkers. And they would start antagonizing me. I'd go into the water store over here and there's this lady that's overweight just giving me shit, telling me she's God, and stuff like that. And that's what they do. They try to bait me. So, and I also at the same time, I did say I think she lost weight because it did look like she had lost a little bit of weight. And yeah, so I'm sorry if I offended you. My mouth does. I'm I've been told I'm kindergarten honest. Ned Ferguson, the guy I worked with at the fire station, when the FDNY showed up into Fresno, Ned Ferguson was in the crash truck on, let's see, on the north side of the runway. Oh God. Anyway, I can't remember our direction on the runway. It's been a long time. Anyway, we had 29 left and 29 right. If you know anything about runways, just you know what direction that is. But he was on one side of the runway. I was on the other side of the runway in my crash truck, and we shot a water rainbow over the top of the runway when those guys came in charger jets and greeted them in there. Why did I start talking about that? I forgot why I even started talking about that. Anyway, I have 80 people here. Well, I wouldn't say I'm happy today. Um, I'm just motivated. I'm a little hyper. I mean, this is me. This is me when I do, when I'm not. Um, when I smoke cannabis, it kind of brings me down to the same speed as everybody else, um, and I can function a little better in society. This is me all natural, and then I just talk fast, and I've got a lot of energy. I'll go on a 5 mile bike ride, and I'll come home and do all kinds of stuff, and I just won't stop. That's how I've always been, and it got to be where it was a burden. I've heard Adam Kokesh talk about this exact same thing. He says he smokes weed uh, for the same exact reason. He explained it exactly like I do. Uh, but they have some issues with this, with that kind of stuff here in Arizona. They haven't, I think, gotten on board with that. They call it a dry state for a reason, or they say Arizona's a dry heat, and it's a double entendre because it's dry here. Don't want any kind of alcohol or drug consumption, and I'm on board with that pretty much. Uh, I'm never going to drink again. There's no reason for me to ever drink again, and I've said that before, but I just don't think that it's a good thing. Uh, done enough in my life. I will smoke cannabis again for sure because it's good for me. It kills the free radical cells that form in your body that create tumors. Helps me focus and helps me be creative and chill out a little bit. So Arizona's a boo state. I mean, a lot of people drink here, yeah, but a lot of people carry firearms too. So, uh, but that doesn't mean that they're accepting of it. It might mean that they're like, yeah, go ahead, drink, carry firearms, do all this stuff. We will fill these prisons up faster than you can blink because of that. And we're just waiting for it. We're just, you know, so go ahead and drink. There was a sign on the freeway actually not too long ago that said, uh, drink and drive and, oh, drink and drive, meet police and see new bars. Whoever does whoever does those overhead banners has a pretty damn good imagination. They're funny. They should write jokes. They should be a writer for like a comedy show or something like that. They've had some really good other ones too. You know, some of them are kind of cheesy, but they're hilarious. So anyway, I just wanted to put this out there so you know, Avondale PD, you can listen to this. Any of my listeners can listen to this. I know that this stuff is collected by the NSA and sent to DIMOC, the Defense Information Management Center, which is at Fort Meade, Maryland. Uh, Not too far from the NSA facility that's right at the front gate. Right across that is the Defense Information School that I went to school at. And then they collect the rest of the information at Salt Lake City, Utah. So when I do these videos, even if no one is, well, you guys are here. You guys are here. But if no one is going to submit this information to anyone, I know that this is being recorded and saved. All of our transmissions are saved at, I think these facilities. Uh, I'm pretty good at figuring stuff out. I went to school across the street. I used to send videos, session photos and videos to DIMOC under my accession number. So there you go. Uh, so this is just for the record. It's for posterity. Geez, I think this is like the most people I've had on a live stream. 88. 88. Wow. Wow. Oh, and by the way, they say that. Oh my gosh, there are a lot of comments here. Okay, I'm not even gonna start. The first comment said, "Up, dog." What up, dog? You got any up, dog? What's up, dog? Haha, made you say what's up, dog? Uh, yeah, that's a lot of comments. Oh, what was it, 92? Wow, jeez, awesome. Thank you. I don't know if you've noticed me licking my lips a lot. I've been hydrating nonstop, drinking water all day, and I've had this issue with this dry mouth. And I realized these jewels. This is the thing you put in the little deal here. And I noticed I went to get some different jewels today because the ones that I got, I was thinking possibly they might be, uh, might have got messed with, which is very easy to do. There's a documentary about fake pharmaceuticals and how close they can get the packaging to look like the real packaging with barcodes, scannable, and everything like that. It's easy to do. I could crank one of those boxes out on Photoshop, no problem, and give me a day, and I could replicate any package. Air Force taught me how to do that too. So anyway, I was thinking about that, and I was realizing I was getting this dry mouth, and I pulled out the new jewels that I got today, and the ones that I got a few days ago when I started getting this dry mouth and uh, some issues with that. And I noticed they were different colors. This one has like a yellow tint to it, and the other one was completely clear. And they were both a mint jewel, 5%, uh, same package and everything. So why would they be different colors? And now since started using this one, the dry mouth has slowed down a little bit. Yesterday it was terrible. It was like that movie, Me, Myself, and Irene. Have you ever seen that movie? Uh, Jim Carrey, he's like riding a motorcycle and he's going crazy. He's going through basically this targeting thing. If you watch the movie, there's so many identifiers that match right up with being targeted. Why is my garage door opening? Anyway, um, they get him on some antipsychotic or whatever for his paranoid delusional schizophrenia with narcissistic rage, and he's about to take the girl on a bike ride, and he's over there just like slamming water, putting his face under the water fountain, like wheezing the juice, like in Encino Man, and he's like, "This pills are good, but it gives me this ridiculous dry mouth." You look like Fire Marshal Bill Adderall. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Crazy is the new saying. Truthers. Hmm. Jim Carrey's doing his best. He seems like he's having a tough time these days. He said some crazy stuff, but at the same time, they usually wait for anyone to just have a bad day, and then they use that small clip and then just rerun that over and over. So, anyway, all right. Well, I've been on here for almost exactly an hour. Maybe I should stop this right at an hour, and I need to get back to labeling all of this stuff. State sale starts tomorrow at 7, like I said, goes till 4 for the next 3 days. I'm trying to sell my Forerunner and all of these awesome antiques and collectibles that are almost impossible to find without traveling the United States. What's up, y'all? My daughter's friend just showed up. That's why the garage door was opening. So, uh, anyway, all this stuff is going to be for sale. I'm not selling things I need to survive. I actually am getting rid of a lot of this stuff because it's too much. This house is too big. It's 50 square feet. Two people live here. That's nonsense. Our air conditioner bill probably can be like $400 this month, um, and that's ridiculous. I can't have that for two people. So we're gonna downsize, get into minimalism, and that way I can focus more on life and time with my family. Hopefully, if I make it through this court thing, and just focus on other things other than items and objects. So there we go. Avondale PD, I'm fine. You don't need to come to my house and take me anywhere. You will never take me anywhere unless you bust in here and kidnap me. Um, and hopefully, I will see you guys in court. The 11 officers that responded to my call. I'd like to see each one of you in court, along with Russell Roberts, and I'd like to take the stand, and I'd like to ask you guys some questions. And if my attorney won't, I will fire him, and I will register pro se, and then I will conduct business on my own. Which you can see me speaking here. You can see that I can do that, and I'd rather you guys just have the state drop the charges. I'm sure you guys have some connections. Wouldn't be. I don't think you're supposed to do that, or the state isn't supposed to do that. But there's a lot of shit you guys aren't supposed to do that you just go ahead and do, like RICO Act violations, violating the First, Fourth, and 13th Amendment, um, U.S. Code 18, Section 2441 and 2442, and 2660. So, um, you violate all of those. So go ahead and violate some other laws and have them drop this case, and I'll just forget about it, move on. You guys can forget about it, move on. Uh, Not worry about a lawsuit. I don't want to sue anybody. This fighting back and forth just makes things worse. And I don't hate cops. I just hate that you guys conduct business like this. I wanted to be a cop. After well, I shouldn't say I wanted to be a cop. It was one of the jobs available at the University of Oklahoma where we decided to move because that's where my wife at the time had gone to college, and which I kind of realized no, she went there now. A lot of intel go to OU uh, to get their degree. Yeah, my mind is clear for sure. My mind is absolutely clear, and I'm focused, and I have passion still. I have tough days. Yeah, I have tough days. But so have guys that deployed over into crazy ass situations that made it through some almost impossible stuff. And I just feel like I'm doing that now. I'm just not getting a paycheck for it. I feel like I'm doing some combat cam like I always wanted to do. This is dangerous shit that I'm doing. Um, and, I'm just having to do it in civilian clothes and uphold my oath to protect the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic. So, happy you're clear. Are you talking about going clear? Because that's like some Scientology stuff. Is if that's what you're talking about, I don't know anything about that. But yeah, the neighbor said something about Scientology the other day. But I don't know if how I am is going clear. God, whatever. I'm just functioning properly under duress, basically. Uh, so there it is. All 79 people that are still here, 80 people that are still here. I appreciate you guys listening. And yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Scientology thing, Scientology is a big part of this kind of gang stalking thing. I found some software on my computer, on my phone here called fairplay.h2, and their gang stalking program, they call it Fair Game. The Freemasons call it Hidden Dagger or Secret Dagger. Jehovah's Witness have a name for theirs. There's all different types of appendages of Freemasonry and different cults and stuff like that that take part in this, and they have a different name for it. So that's it. I gotta go. I'm gonna quit rambling. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it.